there. Welcome to vlog number 3. Should I say the number every time? I don't know. My name's Miriam Mackenzie and my company is called Say It Clearly. Say It Clearly's been around, I think this is my 11th year now. So I've been in education and training for 30 years. So I have been around the block a few times. Yes, I have. I have 2 books on Amazon. One is called Say It Clearly, which is a guide for children to speak, for you to teach children how to speak clearly and confidently. And the other one is called Find Your Voice, Find Your Words. And that is mainly for women who are struggling to lead a team, maybe looking for promotion, aren't sure as to how they can get their words out without getting blocked with emotion, because that's a big one, especially when the situation is stressful. I've been in the media, I've won an award, and stop saying yes. Mainly, my focus is on children and children's speech, because if we can get children at an early age speaking clearly and correctly, that's giving them a huge advantage in all other areas of their learning in their life. And I've just got something over there that's catching my eye. This week in the Southern Hemisphere, New Zealand, Australia, etc., all our children are going back to school after a 6, maybe even a 7-week break. And it's like, a big sigh of relief. They may, this is a warning, they may go back to school with what we call the summer slump. And that means what that looks like is it looks like the children have regressed. So let's say they've finished school with reading at level 20 and they get back to school and all of a sudden they're bringing home books that are level 15. Don't worry. The summer slump is really normal, because children really don't want to learn over the holidays. They don't want to practice reading on a daily basis. They don't want to practice their maths or spelling or anything like that. But to avoid the summer slump, even 5 minutes of some sort of learning activity. And screen time, as we know, isn't great, and using tech all the time, as we know, isn't great. But because children consider it a treat, using the screen for summer learning is actually one of the best ways to learn, because children think it's a treat and they're actually doing something that's beneficial for them. And learning how to speak clearly over a screen is really, really good, because they can see exactly what my mouth is doing, they can see what my tongue is doing, and they can push pause to copy and practice. So there's always benefits to screens, isn't there? So don't forget, try online learning. Go onto YouTube or purchase an online course, because with online courses you can easily push pause, and you know with an online course that what they're doing is educational and of value. Yes. If you are facing challenges with your children's speech, check it out with a speech therapist. In New Zealand, I know there's a big wait list. So maybe you might need to go through your GP first. And that's to find out if there's any physiological reasons if you're worried about your children's speech. And then, if you're just worried about their articulation, which is how they announce sounds and pronounce words, speech teacher is easy to find, and speech courses are easy to follow. Some of the issues or challenges parents might be facing with their children's speech, including late speech development. A lot of parents are worried, my child is 2 and they say one word. My child is 4 and they haven't said anything yet. Sometimes children get all this language in their brain first. Sometimes children speak in full sentences first. Again, if you're concerned about it, go to a GP, see a speech language therapist, and have a look online. And give them the opportunity to listen to people speaking online and see what happens. Can they repeat a sentence? Sometimes if you remove yourself from the situation and you get somebody else to do it for you, the children are really good. children are really receptive. So with my courses, I say a word, a sound, they repeat it. I say a word, they repeat it. I say a sentence and they repeat it. And sometimes it's a rhyme as well and they repeat it. And this all builds up to being able to speak fluently and correctly in a conversation. Other issues or challenges is articulation, and I talk about this all the time. The th sound. It could be the k sound, like the k or g sound could be coming out d, like where's my bed instead of where's my bag. Can I read this book instead of can I read this book? And open the date instead of open the gate. This is a challenge, and for children to be able to see what is happening with the mouth and the tongue is really helpful on video. So gate, the g sound, you can see it being formed back here and at the back of my mouth, but children can't see that, and they think what's happening is d and g, same thing is happening, same sound. So they've got to learn how to use the back of their throat. Language disorders, I don't deal with language disorders, or let me think, if they're struggling to comprehend words and they get words mixed up, so they might say for coat hook, they might say glass house. That is definitely a speech language therapist that you need to see for that. Stuttering, it can be neurological, but it also can be how they breathe. I don't mean to generalise, but I'm going to. Boys around 3, 4, when they've got all this stuff happening in their brain, they can't wait to get it out of their mouth, they can start to stutter or stammer. Don't worry about it. They can grow out of it. If that is happening, just wait for them to get their words out. And also teach them how to breathe properly, because if they're stuttering or stammering on a word, the breath is caught somewhere. You could ask your child, where is your breath caught? And they might say here, or they might say here, or they might say here. So teaching them to breathe from their diaphragm is really important for that. And of course I've got video. Yeah. In fact, I've got a video on my course, it's free, on how to breathe properly. So if you're unsure how the speech courses run online, have a look at the free How to Breathe Properly or Breathe from Your Diaphragm video at www.sayitclearly.co.nz. So letter N for Nancy. And then go to Children and Education and scroll down till you see online courses, and then the free one will come up. Auditory processing disorders is another challenge. Again, go to your GP or pediatrician and ask, maybe get their hearing checked, and a speech language therapist may be able to assist with that too. And same with expressive language delays. There might be other issues there, like an autism issue. I don't mean to, scaremonger here, but these are just if you're concerned. Go to your GP, go to your teacher, and see if you can get some screening done for that. Receptive language delays is when children have difficulties in understanding and processing spoken language. We listen in 2 steps. We hear the words and then we process the idea. Because we speak in whatever language we speak in, we speak really quickly. And we are inclined not to pause long enough to give children time to process what we've said. If you've said or given a child instructions or spoken to them, count in your head to 5 and then see what happens. Even count to see how long it takes for your child to respond to you. This is a real challenge. Saying something and pausing to see how long it takes for them to respond. If they don't respond, are you looking at their face? Are they looking at you? And then count. I might do another whole episode on this actually, it's really interesting. Social communication challenges. They may face difficulty in using language effectively in social situations. Again, this could be an autistic tendency. So go to your GP, speak to your child's teacher or early childhood teacher, and maybe speak to a speech language therapist. And the last one is parents may not be aware of their children's speech difficulties. I've come across this quite frequently. Parents get surprised when an early childhood teacher might say to them, are you aware that this is how your child articulates sounds? Or are you aware that they're having difficulty communicating with their peers? And because with parents, some things you just accept, and you can 100% understand your children more than anyone else can. And because my son has Down syndrome, I know that firsthand. And so getting your children to be able to communicate so everybody can understand them is really, I think, in my opinion, personally speaking, is what we're wanting to achieve, isn't it? So as I said, speak to any professional that you think that can help, and speak to more than one as well, because sometimes there's a wait list, and if you can speak to more than one professional, it might speed up the process. Because early identification and intervention can significantly improve outcomes for children facing speech and language difficulties, which in turn they'll face learning challenges too. I have an assessment online. It's free again, and it's a voice form. If you want this, in fact, it's not online. You've got to email me if you want this voice form at Miriam, Miriam, at sayitclearly.co.nz, and just put in the subject heading assessment, please, and then I'll get that to you. Lastly, don't forget the 50% off all my courses ends on the 31st of January, and that, I believe, is Wednesday. I think it might be Wednesday. Or is it Tuesday? It's the 31st of January is when the courses end. I'm looking at my calendar. Wednesday. Yeah, 31st of January. Just put VIP 50 in at the checkout. You can also find the courses on www.sayitclearly.nz/collections. 50% off across the board, VIP 50. Have a great week. If you have any comments or any questions, just leave them in that little box below. Thank you.